Hello, this is Nemir from Culture Diagnostics. This video is about how you might use the Barrett 7 levels of consciousness model and the CTT tools during an interview exchange, either for a job application or during a meeting with another person. Now, if you've explored the 7 levels of consciousness, you'll see that the words we use can be mapped out against certain meanings that are behind them. So if a person is asking questions or replying to questions about what is important to them in a certain way, then if you are trained in the 7 levels of consciousness, you can categorize them clearly and derive certain understandings from that, from where those values that are represented are coming from. Then you could reply not just in sense of the direct question, but the way the question was formed, and let's say the values level that the question was coming from, to see you can reply either meeting that same values level, or you can reply in a way which is at another values level to introduce that value into the conversation and see how it is picked up by the other person. Now, obviously, if you're doing an interview, you could ask, if you're a job application and you are interviewing people for the job, you could ask the future employee or the candidate to take the free personal values assessment, which just takes about 5 minutes. They could do that while they're waiting, and you give them the email from which it's sent, and that gets sent to you and to them, and you can use that as a way to see how the person views themselves. That might give you indication as to what they are looking for in the job and where they're hoping to go, what it is that is bringing them to you. Now, you might want hungry people that want to help you make money, right? Now, you want people that see themselves in that way. Or you might want creatives that want to bring in new ways of challenge and, forging ahead without too much thinking about the bottom line. Or you might want a big picture person that can help you move your company, your organization, into new directions, new ways of thinking, and maybe to new values that will make your company more attractive to consumers given the changes that are going on constantly. So strategic thinking, sustainability, those kind of values, and how you can move on and adapt. That's just one example of employing somebody or bringing somebody in. You might be engaged in a one-to-one, in a kind of exchange to understand the other person. So if the person speaks to you from what you see to be level 1 and 2, which is all about survival, fear, or greed, acquiring, and you like certain aspects of that person, but you would like to see how they might be open to change and adaptation or growth, then you might respond to them in a 4th level, which is about transformation question, by using the words which are generally, if we're talking to people of the same kind of culture, and this is where you have to be careful of the meanings, right? If we're fluent in English, then we can speak and we understand. If we're speaking another kind of language, then we have to be careful that we both understand or are working at the same level. So within that, you could pitch an answer to a level 1 question in a level 4 way. And that might mean many things. That might mean, looking the person in the eye, making other comments, because part of level 4 is making people feel secure and safe so that they feel capable to engage in transformation and think about it, or ask some questions that require different values from what you've seen on from the interview so far, or what you know about the company. So often the 7 levels of consciousness can be used to tease out or to experiment with different levels of consciousness than are actually present, in a single meeting. I mean, if it's a hardball meeting where you're just trying to get to the bottom line and see the maximum you can get out of that person and vice versa, then you're working at level 1. However, you might see a competitive advantage even in moving into level 4 and, as it were, creating, safety and security and transformation. So there's many ways in which can work. These 7 levels of consciousness and the CTT assessments are tools. How you use them is up to you. I've given you one example or 2 examples. You might use them in job interview, or you might use them in a business meeting, right? But you can also leave them in many other ways, like at home. How are you responding to your family members, to the people close to you? Looking at what comes up in you and how you express that within your intimate relationships. The great power is the clarity. If you measure something, you can change it, Richard Barrett says, and that is absolutely true. If you're aware of something, if you have a measure going on, then you can change it. It's like all these things we have on our wrists that give us our heart rate. Now, before we knew what our heart rate was, you can't really change it. You say, oh, my heart rate's up now, and you look and you change, you make adaptations. So knowledge is power, and in any endeavor we're going, we need to have knowledge so we can make the right decisions based on accurate information, and this is the promise of the CTT tools. So that's what we do. We offer these assessments, these tools, and comments like this video to any and whoever wants them. The personal values assessment is available free. Check it out on this website. But as a company or an organization, whatever kind you are, then I hope you'll think about introducing values into your discussion about what works, into your mechanics of who you are, because they're very important. Thanks very much. Thanks for listening.